Back here, First Things First, with the great Steven Jackson. Good morning, Steven. Can we please discuss last night's Game 5 Blazers-Nuggets? It was Dame time on caffeine. The performance of the postseason by far, 55 points, a playoff record, 12 three-pointers, and no help from the rest of his team as the Nuggets win in double overtime to spoil Dame's night and take a 3-2 series lead. Here is Damian Lillard after his record-breaking game.
It don't matter. We lost the game. So, I mean, at this point, all that matters is we can't lose another game in this series. So, we go out there, we play to win the game, and we came up short. So, we going back home. It's a must-win or else our season's over. And then we got to come back here and win on their floor again. So, I mean, that's what it is.
Dame is big unhappy. We got NBA champ Steven Jackson joining us now, which makes me big happy. Steven, what'd you make of Lillard's dejection after his record-breaking night last night?
What's up, fellas? Jenna, you know I love you. I'm glad to see you again. You really make me happy to be on the show. You are my favorite. I love you guys
every
too.
Every day, Steven, come on, every day.
You seen that press conference? Dame basically said, "How do I get 55 and lose on the road?" That's basically what he said.
Right.
You can't have 55 points in the playoffs on the road and lose a game. It boils down to Nurkic. It boils down to Cantor. Y'all have to play some defense. He's averaging 35 in the playoffs. If y'all can find some way to stop them, y'all have a better chance of winning the game. For Denver side, Austin Rivers has been great. Michael Porter finally had a big game. But you got to give Austin Rivers his credit. Without having Murray in the lineup, they needed another guy because Gordon hasn't been the player that we expected him to be once he got to Denver. But Austin Rivers has stepped up. But Dame Lillard cannot get 55 points on the road and lose that game. And you saw the frustration all in his face.
So, yeah, and I don't blame him for the frustration. And luckily, the Lakers game was so awful, I think a lot of America did what I did and said, okay, I'm going to turn this one off or change screens and focus on this. And what you saw from Damian Lillard was totally unprecedented. Damian Lillard now has, as far as most threes in a playoff game, the 4th most ever, the 3rd most ever. Second most ever is Klay Thompson's epic Game 6 against Oklahoma City in 2016. And then last night, the most ever. This was the 7th most points ever scored in any playoff game of all time. And what you saw in overtimes, though, Wilds, is what there's a number and there's an image. The number is this: 6 of 8 for 17 points. That's what Dame was in overtimes. 1 of 14 for 2 points. That's what all of his teammates were in the 2 overtimes. And then at the end of the second overtime, Robert Covington, Dame gets him a dunk. He literally misses the dunk. And the next time down, Dame's partner, CJ, Dame kicks it to CJ, and CJ steps out of bounds. And I watched it, Wilds. And I said, Dame, for the ultimate loyal guy, for the ultimate I'm not going to team up, I want to do it here guy, a game like this can stick with you and make you reconsider. Because when you score, when you literally are setting records, when you are making shots to where when you miss, Austin Rivers actually thanked God, put his hands like this and thanked God that you missed. And your teammates are missing dunks and stepping out of bounds, scoring 2 total points on 14 shots in 10 overtime minutes. I do think if you're Dame, you have to say to yourself, what can I do? What more can I do? And do I want to keep running into this wall? Because he was perfect last night, and it wasn't enough. And they weren't playing an all-time great team. It's not like the Nuggets are some unbeatable super team. It's like, they're just playing a good team. And it wasn't enough.
So Stack, I want to ask you this. Because I also, like Nick, have sort of a, I don't know, it leaves a sour taste in my mouth to watch a great performance and kind of spin it forward and be like, and be a little bit negative. But I also have to be honest, because when we've worked together for a while, and I felt like your legacy has a lot of different chapters to it. You were known to it like the We Believe Warriors. We know like the Pacers, kind of ultimate loyal guy. But when we first started working, we'd be like, an NBA champion, Steven Jackson is here. And you would talk about the Spurs, and you'd have the ring. We'd talk about it all the time. And that is part of a nuanced and a sort of a wide legacy for you. I feel the same way about Dame, that we know that Dame is like the ultimate loyalty guy, and now he's known as an all-time great clutch guy. But I don't think we're ever going to be able to say an NBA champion Dame Lillard, and I want that for him. I don't want to tell the guy what to do. I don't want to wish him out of Portland. I don't want him to blow up the team. But is it wrong for me to say, like, hey, Dame, you probably have to make a move, either pressure the Blazers to make another move or leave? What is your take on him trying to, like, for lack of a better term, chase a championship?
Well, some guys are big on loyalty. Me personally, I would love to see him win the championship. I would love to see him go somewhere else and play if it don't happen here. But, you know, at the end of the day, we only can worry about what we control. And he's in control of that decision. You know, loyalty means a lot to a lot of people, and it means a lot to me too. But at a certain time, you can't be loyal to people who are not loyal to you. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. Dame can say he's loyal to this team, but I guarantee, you know, 10 years from now, his jersey might be retired there, but the loyalty won't be there with that team. You know, they're going to move on and try to find another Damian Lillard. That's just the truth. I would love to see him a champion. But what a lot of people ain't talking about this game, Wiles, is that second three that sent the game into overtime should have been the and one.
He got fouled.
They should have walked out of there with that win.
Yeah.
He got fouled.
He's right.
Good call.
Yeah. Stack, let's stay on this conversation because I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of the show. Love all the smoke. And when you watch the show, every time you guys have Kobe, AI, I mean, you had D Wade, you always say, you know, man, this is a real one, a real one, a real one. And so Dame, I think he's considered a real one in your book, right? And so is this real going wrong where this dude dropped 55 points? He's been doing it for years. He's been having these monster games and these monster performances, but they just can't get over the hump. So to Wiles' point, you know, I don't want him to go somewhere else and chase championships, but when is enough enough? Is this real going wrong?
Yeah, shout out to Brookfield in the Bay. That's where he's from. Damon's definitely a real one. No question about it. He's a real one. I think it's guys like me and you, B, that want to see him win. He's such a great player. You know, he's exciting to watch. He dedicates so much of his life to the game. And the way he plays, he's definitely the most clutch player in the game right now. You know, him and KD. But what he's doing right now is unbelievable, man. And we just want to see him win. I know what it feels like to hold that trophy up. And there's no better feeling in the world after you've given your whole life to something to say that you was a champion, that you were the best at it for at least 1 year. And I know in the back of his mind he's thinking that, but at the end of the day, when your family's taken care of, when you play basketball for a job for your whole life, a lot of things like that don't matter. As long as your family's straight, a lot of people take that into consideration over a championship.
Well, and obviously, you know, he's going to make $500 million lifetime career NBA earnings, or close to it. Like, the money's locked in and he's earned it. And I also do think it's noteworthy because the extension that he has not even kicked in yet. He has a 4-year extension that starts next year. But when did he sign it? He signed it 2 years early. Why? Well, it's a lot of money, but also what had just happened. The Blazers had just made the conference finals. It was the only truly deep playoff run they've gone on since he's been there. And I think in the glow of that moment, he was like, I can stay here and we can win. And they couldn't. Like, it's not his fault. To me, when people think of LeBron's first part of his career in Cleveland, they think of that final series against Boston. I believe LeBron realized I have to leave the year before. The year before, in a series against Orlando in 2009, LeBron averaged 39, 8, and 8, and they lost in 6. And I think he said, okay, like, all right, I'll play out, the last year of my deal, but it doesn't matter what I do, there is a ceiling. And for Dame, he obviously can't play out the remainder of the contract. It'd be 4 years from now. But I do wonder, unfortunately, when he just came off the greatest game he's ever played and one of the greatest playoff games anyone has ever played, if he doesn't look around and say, there wasn't enough, then what will be? and then he has some tough decisions to make.
Well, I'd love to keep watching Dame, see if the Blazers can avoid elimination tomorrow night. Game 6, that one back in Portland. We're back talking your guy, Nick, LeBron
Everyone's
James
avoiding elimination in Game 6, Jenna.
repeat
Everybody.
chances?